It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Junction tonight on Trains and Tech. We're going to do a little bit of work around the layout. I've got an op session here coming up on Friday night. Then the following weekend, I go up to the Syracuse area for ops till you drop. And then we come back here the following week for island ops. So there's a lot going on. And there's a lot I got to do to the layout. Stuff has kind of been getting pushed off a little bit. I've been setting some stuff up. If you remember last week, we did some decoder programming and I added a new track and things are happening, things are changing. We'll take a look at some of the things that are going on and maybe we'll run a train. I keep adding more and more locomotives to the layout and I've been running one that I've been really having some fun with. I don't know if it'll stay on the layout, but I've been having fun with it. So maybe we'll run that one a little bit later tonight just for some fun. Before we get started, though, I do just want to share a little purchase that I made. Joey from Late Night Hobbies is a very good graphic designer. This is Late Night Hobbies. This is one of Joey's laser kits, but Joey's a really good graphic designer, and he's been very gracious and helped me out with some logo designs. Joey made, that's not the right camera. Joey made this logo for me right here, as well as a couple other logos. I was thinking of doing challenge coins, but after going through the process and getting quotes, it was just way too much money for what they were going to turn out to be. But I really, really liked the logos, so I made some stickers. In addition to having some stickers made, which I've had for a little while, and Cameron, to answer your question, I think the answer is no. if you haven't seen, if you go to Late Night Model Railroad on YouTube, Joey's latest video is a digital car card system that he built from scratch. And it's really good. But anyway, so he made this. I didn't need, right? Like, I've got this shirt, which is a Riverside Transfer shirt. Obviously, this is the transfer bridge that inspired this layout that you see behind me. But I wanted some other shirts. I tend to wear the shirts a lot, so they don't look great anymore. So I decided to buy some shirts. I also bought something that's a little bit bigger than a shirt. All of those items are supposedly in here, so I thought what I would do was open them. And people made fun of me for using blue tape on a previous episode, so I bought some brown tape thinking that the brown tape would blend in with the brown box and people wouldn't notice that I was putting tape all over everything. But then, of course, the first thing I get after getting the brown tape is a white bag. So I'm going to move this slightly off to the side here so that I can hopefully, I only feel one of the items in here. So I'm not really sure if all three of the items that I ordered are actually in here or not. Oh, yep, they are. I can see them. You see, if you look in the hole there, you can see the other items. So let's start with the other items because, I don't know, for me, the last item is one of those like luxury items that, anyway, let's start with the fancy shirt. I have a couple of, nope, that's not the fancy shirt. This is the fancy shirt. I have a couple of polos with the Human City Junction logo on them. I'm looking around and I don't see anything with that logo right now, but I have some polos with the Human City Junction logo on them, but the material of the polos is not that high quality. And I noticed that Spreadshop now has a kind of a higher quality shirt, or a higher quality polo shirt. So I got another polo shirt, and this is the, let's put this over here. This is one of the other logos that Joey designed. I don't know how well this logo is going to stay on this shirt. I think that's going to be kind of interesting once I wash it. It's funny, it says $50 is the retail price on this shirt, but it's an Adidas golf shirt. I did not spend $50 on this shirt, but I don't know. I thought, black with a white logo. I will probably wear this shirt for Island Ops, just as kind of like a, I'm kind of representing my layout. And, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. This is the other shirt I got because I wear t-shirts all the time. It's just what I do. It's basically just that same logo, but nice and big. Oh, I guess I should do this now. Nice and big on a t-shirt. These are the premium t-shirts, which I like better. Definitely needs to be washed, though. I think all of these definitely need to be washed before I wear them, because they feel a little itchy. So I'm gonna do that. So maybe I'll wear this one under the polo if it's a little cooler. If it's nice and warm, I'll just wear the polo, and we'll see. We'll go from there. So the last item that I bought has a little bit more of a story. So I bought this bag not too long ago on Amazon. I don't know, I think it was like 30 bucks or something like that. It's a nice bag, but what I found is it's kind of one of the layouts that I go to, it's a 2.4 mile walk from the train to where the layout happens. And when it's nice out, I just do the walk because, you know, it's nice after work to go out for a walk. But these straps just kind of like wear into me, and I was thinking of getting another backpack. But then when I was looking at the Spreadshop stuff, they had what looks like an okay-ish backpack, and I thought, hey, you know, I'm ordering a couple of things. Let's see what the backpack looks like. So what I'm hoping that this backpack is going to be big enough and or nice enough to kind of become the backpack that I bring to op sessions. So it does seem to be a pretty deep backpack. You know, I mean, they're not great padded, but you know, it's okay. Looks like it's got a nice big a big open section, so I should be able to get a bunch of the stuff in here. It doesn't have any sort of computer pouch, which is a little bit of a bummer. I like having a little pouch to put books and stuff in, but yeah, so I've now got a backpack with my logo on it. I don't know. That's the only reason I set up that Spreadshop thing anymore is I buy my own merch from it. This comes from Spreadshop. So if you go, if you go to merch.humancity.org, it'll take you to my specific merch store. But if you just go to Spreadshirt or whatever, it'll, let's see, http merch.humancity.org. Yeah, that should take you to my shop. And then from there you can just manage your way over to the company's site. But I started with Teespring. Didn't like their stuff quite as much as I've been liking the Spreadshop stuff. So yeah, so that's it. You know, I don't know. I am really tired, so I feel like I'm a little out of it right now. I've got my little camera stand set up, but if you notice, the camera's not actually in it. I kind of just want to go run this train for a second, and everything's kind of a mess. But I think I'm going to go attempt to run that train. So I need to get this going, and then I can go over there. I've got a Teespring store, but not very impressed with them either. Yeah, so I only post the premium shirts on Spreadshop because in my experience, certain t-shirt companies, when you get the classic shirts, they are kind of a stiffer shirt, and the logos wash right off of them really quickly. I have some shirts that are like 2 years old and the logo's almost like completely gone on them. So I switched to Spreadshop, and I've had much more longevity out of the shirts and the items and everything that I've gotten from them. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you what you want. The other things I like about Spreadshop is that Spreadshop integrates with YouTube. So you just I was hoping that wasn't going to show up. I'll have to flip it over. Spreadshop integrates with YouTube and with Facebook and with WordPress and stuff like that. So I am able to get, you know, all of my stuff synced up together. So I have their store embedded on my website and all this kind of stuff. I want to do my logo on a hat, and Teespring can't do that. What kind of hat? Spreadshop has Spreadshop has this kind of hat, which is their snapback hat. They also do a trucker baseball hat, and one other style of baseball hat, and then they've got like knit wool caps and stuff like that as well. It's not, if you want embroidered, they don't do embroidered. It's still, I believe it's all still like silk screened on, but yes, they do hats. If you want embroidery, you got to go to other places. So let's see. Okay, so we got the camera set up now. As you can see, you can't see. There is a car at the very end. A car. There's a locomotive at the very end of the track here. I've been running this thing kind of for fun. Ron, if you ever want to come over here and do some ops, let me know. Happy to have you. I don't really have any street running, but I definitely have a car float. So what I need to find is I got to find a throttle because, okay, so that's turned on. Let's find a throttle that's actually got, let's see if this is going to work. There we go. So I've been working with some locomotives and stuff, so this says steel right now, but we don't need to steal anything, so we're going to say no. We are going to say, let's see, yeah, there we go, 4766 PRR. So we're going to select that. So who knows what that locomotive is. One other thing to point out, if you notice, it went right into yard mode. I've been talking to the guys over at TCS. They've provided me with a early release version of a new version for the UWT, oops, sorry about that, UWT 50P, which allows yard mode to persist. So whatever you had it set up as the last time is what it'll come up on. So did anyone guess what the locomotive is yet? Nope, it is not correct. It is not a GG1. But yeah, car floats are a lot of fun. One thing that's happening on my layout a lot, though, is there's a lot of stuff going on. So the car float doesn't always get worked, but I'm trying to change that. Trying to make things happen. All right. All right, so now it's going. We'll see how long it takes people to guess what it is. I should probably check. Yeah, everything's working. So this is a weird locomotive, but you know, what I really want on this layout are box cabs. I've got a DD1 out there that I'm trying to get a decoder in, which of course is also electric, which doesn't quite work on this layout. And of course, this is now getting stuck because of course, why would it work while the camera's on? What's nerve-wracking fun? I guess there's a guy in Buffalo that has a car float that's actually balanced on a rod. So my car float is actually balanced as well, but here, let me show you. So my car float, the rails are connected. The rails are continuous. But if you kind of notice underneath here, there's not really anything under here. So the car float does tip. Now, the reality is with these little N scale cars on here, there's just not enough weight to actually tip this thing over. So all of the work to get it up on a pivot didn't quite pan out because the car float is just much heavier than the pivot. But I originally got this idea from Peter Lloyd Lee. If you look at his channel and go way back, probably 7 years at this point, he's got a video where he did this, where he put it on a pivot like that and kind of demonstrated how it worked. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and did that as well. The problem with any of the car floats that don't actually tip is that people just kind of do whatever the heck they want with them. They don't really load and unload them in any sort of realistic manner, I guess, which is kind of, I guess it is what it is. But I kind of wish people would run them a little more prototypically. I don't know. I think most people know if you overweight a float, it's gonna kind of tip over, but maybe not. Now this guy, so everything on my layout is consisted, right? So like if we swing this around here, you can see like all of the locomotives here are all doubled up. And that's the way I tend to run things. And the problem seems to be with this guy is it doesn't, even though the frogs are all powered, sometimes it goes over them happy-go-lucky. Other times it doesn't go over them happy-go-lucky. And I've got the camera pointed at it, so it's, it's camera shy. But, it's also a BLI locomotive, so people know my opinion on those. I'm not going to get into it again, although I guess I sort of did get into it again. Is the power off? No, I got track power. Why aren't you rolling? There we go. Of course, so now it starts when it gets to the other end and I'm ready to come back. But he'll earn the most of them. Heath is going to implement a demerit system. I should. And I will earn most of them myself. That is definitely true. Oh, so what was I saying? Oh, box cabs. So I want to run box cabs on the layout just because I think it's fun and I think it's something that should be run down by the water. And I, in like my weird like way, I kind of want to say like, oh, like, this is, yes, it's an electric locomotive, but maybe they converted it to diesel because like whatever, like, I don't know. So, I probably need to clean the wheels on it. I clean most of the layout. I need to clean more of the layout. Turnip surprises, Long Island Railroad. Well, this is exciting. See, so it doesn't run very well. Are the wheels dirty? What do you think? Oh, I didn't know that. It looks like it's got... Is that a traction tire? It looks like there are traction tires on this last set. That explains why when I try and roll it, it's not actually rolling. So I'm not sure where the pickups actually are on this locomotive. But it's probably dirty. Should we try cleaning the wheels? Because what else, I can show you the other stuff I'm doing, but this is, I'm guessing this is probably more entertaining to people watching me struggle. So what I do is I just took this piece of paper. It's a Kimmy wipe is what it is. And I put alcohol on it and I just kind of put it on the track and I'm just going to kind of like, run it back and forth a little bit and see if we can get some of the stuff off some of the wheels. Yeah, it looks like some of the, oh, that's the traction tires. Oh, interesting. So the traction tires are picking up a lot of dirt. Because that back there, that's from the traction tires. What camera are people looking at right now? There we go. We'll see if it's gonna run into the camera or not now while we're waiting. Kimmy wipes for wiping your Kims, exactly. Oh, it was trying to push the camera out of the way. So I'm hoping to kind of use this little setup here with the camera on the tracks to see if I can't get some nifty looking video of running trains. I'm hoping it's a neat thing. Yeah, it was IPA. It wasn't any of the other things. But I do have the deluxe materials, the magic track stuff on there. So that probably is not the best thing for the traction tires. Oh, I'm trying to get the camera set up. It's gonna pass the camera before I even turn the camera back on. Ooh, I like that shot under the bridge there. That's kind of nifty. What looks great? The Kimmy wipe that I used. That Kimmy wipe was the brand name is Kimmy Wipe. That is the brand name. Or do you mean the brand name of the loco? I've already said the brand name of the loco like 600 times. And there's only one company that I'm aware of that makes a P5A in N scale. So it should narrow it down a little bit. I'm kind of, you know what's kind of neat to me is this is like the first time I'm seeing some of these views in like in a camera shot. And it's kind of neat seeing like the box cars on the left there going into that warehouse. So this is a, what is this thing called? Who remembers what it's called? This is a BLI P5A. How to let the dog out. Come on, we gotta have priorities here. So this thing does not like going over turnouts. That is for sure. It could be operator error. I'd say there's a very good chance it's operator error. It's like going an inch and stopping and then going another inch and stopping. You guys might notice I added some blue flags. This is an idea I stole from Seth Newman. The idea being is if you want to switch out that yard, you'll have to come and get permission to pull the blue flags. Blue flags need to make sure they go back in when you're done switching the yard. It's just kind of a safety thing, you know, make sure there's nobody working in the yard when you're in there. Yeah, that is a factory that Lynn built for a previous layout to fill a specific spot on a previous layout that unfortunately I don't actually use anymore. Come on. So what's interesting, I guess, is like when I run these other locomotives, they run so well. And then like I try and run something else and it just doesn't want to cooperate with me. It just wants to say, no, I'm just not going to do that. Maybe my track needs to be cleaned. Maybe I'm just, you know, doing things I shouldn't be doing. But let's go over here. I know I'm probably moving that way too fast, right? Let's go over here and let's pull these guys out just because, oops, that was the wrong thing to do. Okay, so these locomotives, we got to come over here. I've got these new consist cards. I just made them up recently. Here's the functions on the back. These are a better size than the other ones. I think I showed you these previously, but this is a little plastic sleeve that they go into. These fit nicely. So I'm going to bring up 104. That is the consist address that'll work with the proto throttle, but it does also work with the TCS throttles. I set it up specifically for that. You can see it does say MEC 516, 519, which is what those are. And if I dial up the sound and turn on the lights, they should come alive and they should move. And just like butter, they just go. They just work. There's just no problem with them. They run nice. They move easy. Yeah, it's a great looking fixture. The problem is I'm not really sure where or how it's going to fit on this layout. I'm thinking I want to do a little scene over in the window area where I can put some of these more dilapidated style buildings. I've got one from Dennis and I've got one from Lynn that I think would be perfect for a little kind of like rundown scene area. But yeah, so I need just a little bit more room to get this guy out of there. So yeah, I put some basically blue tape on a little stand that I have. So the blue tape is gonna keep the tripod hopefully from shorting out on the tracks. But I guess the reason I guess I'm doing this with these is I kind of want to prove, like, you can see how well the layout runs. These locomotives have been running fine, and we're about to basically take them over, you know, similar trackage of the P5A that just didn't want to play happy. And I just really wanted that to play happy. I am, in general, very, very surprised at how well the layout actually runs. I thought kind of with N scale that it would, there'd always be some kind of problems. And of course, as I was saying that, of course, the locomotive decided to stop working because, again, getting a little getting a little camera shy. It's getting a little close to the camera. So I am using yard mode on this throttle. I know some people say, oh, yard mode's not prototypical, whatever. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm enjoying. I've got the panels set up down here. So that's what I'm using to control all the turnouts and everything. You can see the detection is working, and you can see the train is moving. I've got the train set up so that it only moves, or, you know, it waits until the sound kicks in to move. I find it a little more prototypical because then it doesn't just, trying to find a way to sit it so it's flat. Oh, flat enough. It doesn't just take off, like it ramps up and all kinds of stuff. I think your P5A is doing the same as my Sperry rail car. I need to weight the back. It could need more weight. It could. Yeah, I agree as well. Dennis, I tend to run always in yard mode these days because it does eliminate confusion. I am not great at remembering which way, and when I get flustered sometimes and I'm not using yard mode, I'll move the throttle the wrong way, but you know. So, you know what we can do? So if you guys, I'm going to show you over here, right? So if we look over here, right, I moved all the cars out of the yard so that I can put the backpack up here to show everybody the backpack. But now I gotta go put them all back. So I think if I can get this locomotive to start moving in the correct direction, what I'm going to do is I'll bring these cars back into the yard with those locomotives. So it gives me something that I need to do. I printed out all new car cards. So here, new car cards, and I'm still going through getting everything set up for Friday's session. The other thing I like about yard mode is you can set it different ways, but I set it so that it can only go up to, it's like 45% or so. So you can't run fast with yard mode, which I do kind of like. But I'm really liking this shot with the thing. I actually do have lights under there as well, which right now they're just little like battery fairy lights. But I think they're kind of neat. They're kind of fun. You can see as I turn around, there's a little blue flag there on the Riverside Industries right here. So if you want to get into the Riverside Industries, you gotta get that blue flag pulled so that you can get in there. There's one spot open for Friday session. I did reach out to Mr. Shepard to see if he wanted to come, but I haven't heard anything yet. So if anybody wants to come Friday, there is still a spot available. If someone wants to come to the session on Friday, if you're in the area. But yeah, I mean, I gotta figure out like how to like move the camera, I guess, so that Dennis doesn't get sick from me moving the camera. But I guess I just need like, multiple cameras around the layout so I could switch between them. What, Heath? You don't like Sparky and Jack speed? Oh, so Jack speed is what you like. Is this considered Jack speed? Yeah, so those are the lights that I've got on the bridge are like $6 little lights that I got off of Amazon. And here, let's do something. And I got them primarily for like this kind of look, to do like a little bit of a night scene, I guess, and so you could kind of still, see the lights under the bridge as well. What I'm liking about this kind of tripod setup is just how close and down to the ground things are. I think it just makes it, I don't know, I think it makes it kind of interesting. But you can kind of see the train coming into view here. I do want to figure out a way to do night ops. I kind of love this sort of look for this type of thing. So we'll pick this up and we'll turn this around. If you have one of those Amazon things, cover your speakers for a second, because, well, I'll mute myself. Never mind. So here's kind of that, early morning sunrise look. Eventually I want to do a whole, lighting sequence that kind of goes from, day to night to early morning, and kind of do a whole thing. I think that would be kind of fun, because if we're not having fun, what are we doing? And so someone was joking earlier about Sparky speed versus Jack speed. Yeah, I mean, I kind of, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of prototypical-ish speeds, I just want to run at a speed that makes sense. Seems to be stuck again. I don't know why it's stuck again. These locomotives have a ton of momentum. I could shut off the power on them and they'll basically roll all the way around the layout. The reason I did that is to set them up for working with the proto throttle. On Friday session will be the first time Both proto throttles will be set up, ready to go. You can kind of see them in this camera view. I've got them on these little stands here. This one is in a little holder, so you can pull it out if you you want. This one is permanently mounted to this stand, but these are just little monopod stands that I have. Let's see if I can get that to sit in there. There we go. So these are just little monopod stands that I have that hold these. I like that because then you don't have to like hold on to them, and you can put them wherever you want as well, which I think's kind of important. But I enjoy using them. Hopefully people that come here will enjoy using them. Here's my high-tech background flat for FW Web Company. You can see there's no depth to it whatsoever, but it kind of looks like an industry, right? So, me too. I like using momentum. I think a lot of people hate momentum on switching layouts because it forces you to go slowly. You can't just slam the cars around back and forth. You really have to go slow if you have a switching layout and you have momentum. For that reason alone, like I love it. I think it's great, but there are a lot of people that really just don't like it. So we should see in a second one of these sets of cars, this set over here, is gonna start moving. The locomotives are just coming up on the back of that string of cars. Technically on this layout, we're only supposed to be pushing 8 cars, and I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars, so it's bad luck any way you look at it. But, I mean, here's a little shot where you'll be able to see all the locomotives, because I've got a ton of locomotives set up over here. I don't know. I'm never going to be able to run all those locomotives, but I don't know. Like, I like locomotives. I've got a problem. That's just the reality of it. I have a problem, and my problem is locomotives. Here's a view you'll never see. Never as a person, I guess you could say, because you're looking from behind, right? So like this is where the operator is standing, but now this is looking basically out, into the area. Locomotives and 40-foot boxcars. Yeah, the 40-foot boxcars wasn't like an original thing. 40-foot boxcars kind of became a thing when I started this switching layout. My real poison is circus stuff. Like I've got, circus trains in every different scale. I just don't have the space to run 100-foot long circus trains. And then I learned about this thing called operations. And I know I've said it like a million times, but like, I thought trains ran in circles. Once I learned trains don't run in circles, it kind of opened me up to a new world. And I've been kind of enjoying this, this process, shall we say. But you can kind of see, I mean, that P5A couldn't even make it this far, and here we are with these guys running slow as can be. There's been a couple little hiccups, but in general, it's looking pretty good. And yeah, like, we can run faster, we can, push things around and, make things, move much faster, but you know, to me, this is kind of relaxing to just kind of, you know, let it take its time, let it take its, you know, its own speed, and just kind of, you know, have it doing its thing. Paul, if you come up with the space to run 100-car N-scale Ringling train, I will loan you my Ringling N-scale set of cars, so that you can do that, because I think that would be a lot of fun to actually see them, you know, see them run. I'm liking this like low down shot thing here too, though, like the, you know, getting down closer to track level. You know, this is, I guess this is okay, right? I mean, you can see the trains moving, but that's definitely a better shot. Sounds like you need to get a Fremo layout. Yeah, that's probably definitely the way I would need to do it. So let me uncouple from this set of cars, if I can find an uncoupling stick. Got tons of them, but of course never one where I need it. So yeah, here's an example, right? So this has a ton of momentum on it, but it stopped on its own because I'm running so quickly, or running so slowly. But if I was running like really quickly, it would have just kept going and going. So we need to go back out. We're gonna go around this other string of cars on the main line, because this string of cars is actually on the yard. We'll throw some of the switches around here, and then it's gonna come back on this track here, which is the track where that other cut of cars needs to go. So let's take this back over here for a sec. We'll see if this ends up being an interesting shot or not. Who really knows? So this is looking basically north along the track. That stretch of track is, I don't know, I should figure out what the mileage is. It's probably like 1,000 miles or something like that, but that's where the compression is between 125th Street in Manhattan and the Croton Harmon yard. I'm sure somebody could look up and tell me what that mileage is, but that's kind of what's going on there. And eventually I'll have like some scenery down here. I'll have a little like, I don't know, little mountain-ish side cliff thing set up here. But what I'm thinking of doing is in this area back here, I might build like an abandoned little village. This is the structure that Dennis sent me. So this structure with Lynn's structure would look really great in this like abandoned area in the back over there. So that's one of the things that I really want to do. Yeah, I know. I added magnets because one of my operators was like, "Oh, you gotta add magnets," and I added magnets, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, do I like the magnets? I don't know if I like the magnets. I can't decide if I like the magnets. I kind of hate the magnets. I kind of like the magnets. I just don't know. Like, I don't know the answer. I'm kind of, oh, uh-oh. Oh no. Hold on. I know you guys don't know what's going on. I moved the camera and the camera still showed the, okay, so the camera is still working. So I guess that's a good thing. Oh, hold on. Hold on. You're going the wrong way. Hit 4, brake. All right, undo 4. Go back the other way a little bit. We seem to have lost connection with the camera. I'm going to do what I can to see if I can't get that back. And that didn't work. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's what happens sometimes. So give me a second. I'm trying to get in here to get the locomotive going down the right track, and then I'll try and fix the camera. We'll try, we'll reset everything and see if that helps or doesn't help, because, you know how technology goes. It really is funny how when you do a live stream, like, that's when just everything kind of falls apart and stops working. All right, so that's there. Let's switch the switches. Okay, so now I got the locomotive going in the right spot. Let's try this again. There we go. That's better. Now it works. No dead batteries on the cameras, at least not yet. I have pretty good luck with this phone. It'll go about an hour before the camera dies. It does die right about at like 50-ish minutes. So hopefully I'll be able to get this train in there, and then I can talk a little bit about what I need to do next on the layout. So can you see the locomotives are way down here right now? And I'm just gonna clear this switch right here, and then we'll come back against these cars and we'll push them into the yard. And we've cleared the switch, so I'm braking, taking the brake off and coming back. And it works. Like, I don't know, it just kind of, I don't know, like the trains run. I don't know. I don't know why it surprises me so much when the trains actually run. I guess that's the funny part, is like, I shouldn't be so shocked that the trains actually work. Like, they should work. I laid the track, I did the wiring. The trains should run fine, but yet every time I run the trains, I still kind of like surprise myself that that they're actually working. So you can see now the trains are moving. They're moving a little fast. I like to run especially slow when I'm pushing. I have all truck mounted couplers, and I know everybody says that's like the worst thing in the world is truck mounted couplers. If you run slow enough, I don't generally see the issue. So yeah, I know, Kevin, I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah. Have you all ever seen an industrial yard loco moving along speedily and stop like a car? No. Slow, long momentum at the mill I worked at. Yeah, and Nitro Star, that's it. Like, I'm pushing, I think it's probably 13 cars again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars again I'm pushing. I am at, you probably can't see that. Can you see that there? I'm at 15, and I've got the max speed set at, I think it's at 128, so it's half the full speed of it. So 15 would actually be 7.5 at full speed. So it's it's running nice and slow. You can see it's moving. It is moving. I mean, I don't see long, slow momentum. It would take them too long to swap all the cars. Oh, well, if you're moving slow, the train does stop pretty quickly. It's all about how much you're pushing, too. Heath, you coming to the meet and greet in August? At this point, no. I don't know if I'm going to be working in August. So at this point, I'm kind of hunkering down a little bit and, taking things slow, basically. So we'll come back over here. You can see, too, the cars are going through an S-curve right here. which again, something that you shouldn't do. Oh, I guess I need to turn myself off so you can see, but there is an S curve here. You know, it turns to the left here and then to the right here. So we're going through an S curve going through those switches. But, you know, if you're not in a rush, it does kind of work. I don't know how quick those would move in a yard. I guess that's a good question. Bob says, hello, Heath. And all in chat, isn't the magical moment when the trains start moving an essential element of the joy of model trains? Yes, I agree. I agree. The S-curve is fine in a yard. Going slow is the name of the game. Yes, I agree. So there's actually a double slip right here as well. So another reason to go slow is we're going across the double slip and we're going across an S-curve. So, you know, that's how you get to track 2 in the yard off of the yard lead. It is straight through the double slip though. The way I designed it was if you're using the yard lead for classifying cars, it's set straight, so you shouldn't have any derailment issues. To get onto the main line, it is diverted, but I don't know. Maybe this is a little too slow. I can adjust, so I'm using this throttle, the TCS throttle. If I use the proto throttle, I can get more speed out of it. I don't know why I didn't use this proto throttle tonight. I definitely enjoy it. It was a nice setup. It all worked. I did the setup last week, or at least I did one of the first ones last week, and then I went through and did the rest of them. I've got this proto throttle, this one all set up and ready to go. This one, I've got an older software version on it, and I can't find the adapter that I bought to program it, to update it. So I have not yet programmed all the locos on it because I'm still hoping that like there's some model railroading miracle and I find that adapter in the next 2 days. If not, I do have Friday off. Friday is Good Friday. For those of you who celebrate, my company gives us the day off, so I am planning at this point to spend most of the day down here on Friday, getting the layout ready for Friday night's session. I've got most of the cars set up at the industries. What I don't have is I've got the cars in the yards, but I don't have any waybills in these cards yet. So I need to get those all set up. Let's see. Just for Ed, just because Ed gave me a hard time that I did not use the magnet last time. So let's see if I can use the magnet without getting out the pick. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm not having a lot of faith right now. Oh, I should have had faith. Again, who laid this track? I laid the track. I shouldn't be so shocked when it works. I don't know why. Why is it such a shock for me when things go well? I don't know. It's just kind of the way it is. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Lynn. I forgot about that. I guess, you know, part of the problem, of course, becomes, you know, when I'm doing a live stream, I just don't get a lot of stuff done. So, you know, sometimes it's better just, you know, let's try something here. Let's see if I can, 15, 14, 13, 12. So let's see if camera 12 comes up. So these are some cameras that I have set up. They're not the best quality. They're cheaper cameras. They only do 15 frames a second. which, you know, is okay. It's not great, but it should allow us to follow the train around a little bit easier than me running around moving the camera. I do want to reposition a lot of these cameras because right now they're kind of all in weird spots. You can see my main engine facility here with all the locomotives in it. Obviously the 2 proto throttles on the stands are here as well. It's just going through the squealer as it comes around this building. This building is here to provide a view block on this corner, just to make it, you know, the corner not be as much of a corner. But you can see the locomotive still running. And yeah, DB Tech, these are the Eufy cameras. Kind of gives you a sense of the quality of them. Yeah, the cameras closer would be better. Sparky, of course, if you were here earlier, you would have seen my track level camera. The track level camera, I just have to keep moving it along the railroad. It's not doing it automatically, obviously. Whereas if I use these overhead cameras, and this one's not quite in a great place. Locomotive should come into view in a second. Of course, it's not at the moment. So I'm bringing these locomotives all the way back to that engine track. That's where I'm going to leave them, is back that way. Yeah, so I don't have, you know, they're not going to sit on the cars. Oh, I just realized, hold on. That's the camera I want. There we go. So now you can see, so this is Manhattanville here. We're now looking north. And then in a second we'll go and I'll bring up the south camera. Here's kind of my runaround for Manhattanville. This industry obviously is a trailing point as you're coming north. The other side is a facing point if you're coming from the north, so you would need to use this runaround to work that area. Eventually, maybe I'll have these cameras labeled a little better so that I know where everything is. It's kind of like how dark it is with the background. Yeah. So the issue with putting them lower is I'm trying to keep them up inside the valence. Like I don't want them. The layout first and foremost is for operations. Like that is first and foremost the goal. So I don't want the cameras really, you know, that low that they would be in people's way that are operating. But what I'm thinking of doing, so the primary reason for setting these cameras up is for remote operations so that an engineer can kind of get some view of the layout while they're operating. All of the calls and everything would be done by the conductor, but this would just allow the operators to, you know, feel engaged and be more a part of everything that was going on. So they're not really meant to be for what I'm using them for right now, although obviously they work for that purpose. So I'm kind of trying them and seeing what they look like. I would love to hide them in the structures. I have it to this point. I have not found a really good small camera that is of a decent frame rate at a decent cost that would look decent in a structure to be able to use for that purpose. Like everything is kind of like really expensive, or it's just not that good of quality. And I'm trying to kind of find a balance between, you know, good quality and so here's the locomotive just so that people can see it, because I know it's a little hard to see on the camera, but That's it coming across right now. And eventually, so I'm trying to get it back basically right up here is where we're going to. So I'm coming into 80 track, arrival departure track 2, because arrival departure track 2 is the closest to the yard. We'll come and we'll go onto the yard lead. And after we go onto the yard lead, we'll then come back into the yard. So I'm working my way onto the yard lead right now. And so that's what I was thinking of using, was the drone cameras. But the good drone cameras are like money. They're like they're not cheap at all. They're actually quite expensive. It's funny, Sparky. We were talking about Sparky speed versus Jack speed earlier, and we were talking about, you know, I'm pretty slow speed. I don't really get cranking that often. Don't the drone cameras? So the drone cameras work on VHF. They're not. They wouldn't be RTSP cameras. So what you would need would be a VHF receiver, and then that receiver would then need to tie into your system. Digital drone cameras aren't generally fast enough. I'm assuming we're talking about the FPV drone cameras, because that is the style of drone camera that I would probably get, and they're just V is in Victor. VHF, like your old TVs and stuff, as well. Yeah, okay. Of course, you come when I'm using the crappy cameras. Why show up now? You couldn't show up when I'm using the better camera. So there's my there's the better camera view for you. We were moving. I was moving this camera around, but some people have issues with a lot of camera movement. So I was trying to give them a little bit of a break from all of the back and forth of the cameras by using the overhead cameras. But yeah, of course, that's, you know, much better thing. What is holding my camera? It's a little tiny tripod that I have. I put some tape on the bottom of it so I could sit it on the rails and it won't short anything out. But I'll show you in one second. Let me get the locomotives back onto the engine track now that we've got all the cars back in there. But using the brake, stopping the locomotive, releasing the brake, locomotive will come back onto the engine yard track. The main reason I guess I put them on these engine tracks is they're all set up for me to cut power to them. By cutting power to them, it just, you know, just eliminates any risk of me doing something stupid and shorting things out. Dennis, it's in Toronto. Sparky's got a video on it. He's doing it up in Toronto this year. I think it's August. Is that correct? I think it's August. So this is an iPhone stand. I'm using NDI to take the iPhone signal from this camera up to the computer. All right, so we're gonna tie this guy down here. We're gonna turn off all the lights. We're gonna kill the sound, which you probably can't actually hear the sound getting killed. Turn off the camera, And then let's come over here and I will show you what the little camera setup looks like. So here's the camera setup. So it's my iPhone on this little tiny camera stand. So this camera stand obviously is made for phones. They just kind of, you know, it's got the regular old clamp. It folds up is a big reason that I got it, because it'll fold up nice and flat, and you could like stick it in your bag or whatever. But you know, undo these feet. The blue tape is just so I can put it on the track without issues. And yeah, like this just allows the, you know, get the camera nice and low and, you know, in a nice position to shoot stuff on the layout. So that's one option that I have. Got a couple other options as well. We'll try a couple different things, but I'm liking this one just because it's easy and it's you know, it folds up nice. And I don't know, maybe I'll replace the blue tape with black tape just to make it less conspicuous, but for now it works. It does its thing. What more can you ask for? From the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.